Dearest Americans, the USA citizens of America, I am but a Malaysian citizen, 67 years of age, and this is my plea to the US people for freedom, liberty, and all human rights for a peaceful and progressive, harmonious global world on our planet Earth. I am ever grateful to the US and to the British and the Allied forces who came into Malaya in 1945 and redeemed our freedom as Malayans. The Japanese occupation surrendered due to the many sacrifices of the US and British, New Zealand and Australian and Allied forces who died to free our people, a people in a nation foreign to all the British and American and all Allied forces, soldiers, army personnel, the US Navy and the British Navy and the Air Forces too. Because of the sacrifices of these great soldiers unknown to many of us Malayans, I would like to say this to the US of A citizens and to all American people and to all migrants in American soil who are now the US citizens. Any alien who is still not a citizen of the US of A, abide by the rule of law and you will see your freedom take place in the nation of humanity, human rights, freedom, and liberty. I appeal to the current scenario of the political presidency campaign between the Republican and the Democrats. To Hillary Clinton and Mr. Obama, we, the whole world, acknowledge your democratic policies and your universal laws of freedom and rights as in human rights. Mrs. Hillary Clinton, with all respects to you and to Mr. Obama, the first black president, please adhere to the kindness of the Word of God, love. Mr. Donald Trump is a US citizen, a US businessman who went bankrupt and still came back to be his successful self. All this in a free land, a free nation called the United States of America. I feel that the onslaught slay upon Donald Trump is totally unfair. Mrs. Clinton, we respect you as being the first lady in the US to run for the president's post. Mr. Obama, as the first black president since the times of the USA president from the times of Abraham Lincoln and the abolishment of slavery and the abolishment of racism to the unity of all Americans today, and the whole of America has voted in a black president. It is sad to see that the two of you as democratic humans and politicians who fear God and who believe in God like all Americans slander and criticize the point of views of the heartfelt passion of Mr. Donald Trump. Mr. Donald Trump is exposing his love for America as he deems in his mind and in his passion as he deems in his heart to free America, to protect America, and to bring America to a greater world global recognition, and for Americans, the US of A, to be the greatest nation in the global world. Please, I plead to all of you, especially Mr. Obama and Ms. Hillary Clinton, and to all the Democrat supporters, do not use the slander and the criticisms as you do upon Mr. Donald Trump. America, US of A, is a land of freedom and human rights and true democracy. Mr. Donald Trump is only speaking his heart and his mind to the American people, not as an experienced politician, but as a mere man, a man who has seen how he has developed his life to his success as a businessman. Many do criticize and condemn him for his virtues in his diplomacy and his statements, but I feel that the US of A, all American people, including the aliens and the migrants who are angry with him, even the Muslims who are angry with him for his statements, please adhere to the point of freedom of speech, liberty, and the rights of Donald Trump to speak his point of views and his so-called unwise or non-experienced politician views to the rule of governing the US of A as the president. Mrs. Clinton, Mr. Obama, your slur and your statements and your criticisms upon the Donald Trump is the most unfair campaign of any democratic process. View your policies and adhere to your policies for the future of America. Mrs. Clinton, to allow one Muslim family to put to shame the word sacrifice upon Donald Trump is totally unfair. I live in a Muslim majority nation and I am 67 years old. The current Malay Muslim federal government in Malaysia is biased, unlawful, unrighteous, and the most mega corrupted. As Americans know, in the US of A, the 1MDB that is referred to the number one Malaysian official, he is none other than our PM Najib, who also is the finance minister of Malaysia. I am a migrant, Portuguese born, but I was born in Malaysia. And I am a truly Malaysian patriotic. I appeal to Mrs. Clinton and Obama, do not slander the Donald Trump. Give Mr. Donald Trump his stand, his views, and his right to the freedom in a democratic land to run for President of the United States of America. To all the people of America, the one statement made in this democratic delegation is of one soldier who is Muslim and who died serving the USA Army the nation of US to a hero's death in a car bomb explosion. This car bomb explosion was not done by Donald Trump or any other insurgents, but the Islamic terror in Iraq, maybe it's the ISIS, or any other Islamic insurgent militia. As I said, we Malaysians are in full gratitude to all the many soldiers, the US and the UK and the Allied forces who have died for our freedom. They are heroes. We cannot put one Islamic family on stage to criticize the Donald Trump in his run for presidency. Yes, the Shah is a hero as attained by the US Army,